All right, so the question is, I have a HP 24 port 3 gigabit SAS expander. I was wondering if there's a 6 gig version available. This question comes from L. Steve on the Discord. Simply, yes, there are 6 gig SAS expanders, but generally speaking, we don't need them. The reason that we don't need them is that hard drives will not consume the bandwidth of the SAS expander. And if you're going to use something besides hard drives on a SAS expander, I wouldn't really recommend it. If you're going to use SSDs, I would recommend using SATA 3, and you can do that from a add-in card like this, or you can do it from your motherboard's native SATA 3. You'll get the best performance and best functionality out of using it via SATA 3. And on top of that, we're moving towards NVMe being very, very affordable, especially enterprise NVMe. So we shouldn't really have to use SSDs on an expander. If you're using Unraid, your drives aren't all going to be in use at the same time. And that's an important consideration compared to different file systems like FreeNAS or any traditional RAID system. But even so, 3 gigabits per second is about 300 megabytes per second, just for ease of clarity, which is quite a lot. And if you have a SAS card like an 8i, that is 8 channels of 3 gigabit per second that will be fed to your SAS expander. I know this is a 6 gig card, but if you're using the expander, it's just going to be negotiating at 3 gig. Keep in mind that bandwidth is not throughput. Bandwidth is the total capacity of data that could be transmitted across the medium, where throughput is the actual amount of data that is being transmitted. In reality, hard drives will never reach their maximum bandwidth. Their throughput is much lower. So even if you have a 6 gigabit or 12 gigabit per second hard drive, they're never going to reach that. Maybe you'll see around 175 megabytes per second read, which is around 1.4 gigabit per second. So you're never going to come close to that. It's just an interface and what the bandwidth of the interface is capable of. A typical hard drive will, at peak performance, let's say, read at about 150 megabytes per second. So if we use the scale that I just talked about, 24 gigabits per second is about 2,400 megabytes per second. That's about 16 hard drives going at full tilt. Unraid only has a 30 drive capacity, including parity drives, and it's very unlikely that you'll be using that many drives at full read or write speed at the same time. So for Unraid's use case, the expander's not a big deal. Even for FreeNAS, depending on your setup, it's really not a big deal. Now that we've already put the SSDs out of the way, and we're not going to use SSDs on the expander, so there's really no reason to use 6 gigabit for that reason. And we've talked about how hard drives really won't push the expander that hard. If you really want more performance and you're looking for that next level, I would recommend just running multiple LSI SAS cards. And you can get either the 8i or the 16i. The 16i is a lot more expensive, but you can get multiple if you are really looking for that raw performance. So I hope that answers this question, and I'll see you guys in the next video.